Hello there and welcome back to my channel. So we continue with spooky season with a little look at this I must admit unknown game for me. This one cropped up again in one of Steam's giveaways, so it was a freebie and looks suitably grim, so I thought, you know what, let's give this one a go. We've had a couple of psychological ones. This one looks a little bit more straightforward. Not sure. Let's have a look. So let's have a little look at Dark Places. Hope you enjoy.
Alrighty, so I just spent the last 2 hours recording some footage for you of this game, Dark Places, and I thought I'll try and get a good chunk of footage. Game crashed about 6 times in the process of me playing it over the 2 hours. And then I've gone to review the footage and it's corrupted, so I've lost everything. So I'm going to start it again. I'm just going to go from the start. I'll try and get back to where I was, but I'm not going to promise anything. I will take it slowly. I don't want to rush through because it is quite an atmospheric game, and when I first started playing it I was creeping my way through, but I must admit once I got to level 3 my patience started to fray because it's an absolute nightmare, probably intentionally, to navigate. And I said I got about 2.5 hours worth of footage. Most of it was on that level because the layout's so strange that I just couldn't find my way around. There's no map or anything. The corridors all end up looking the same, and so I ended up spending far too much time on level 3. And by the end of it, I was just bored. So, but I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna give you guys a half decent look at this in the first place. I've got 2 achievements out of it so far as well. I would like to carry on. It's clear that it's an indie. It's blatantly clear, but it has got a lot of atmosphere. I'll give it that. But yeah, that atmosphere soon evaporates when you're in it for an hour and a half, and it's not tense anymore. I'm going to put it on low graphics because I kept putting it on high, and it doesn't seem to make a lot of difference, to be honest. So let's go, new game. So I've got no context for it at all. I still haven't got any context for it. It appears to be set in some kind of nightmare, and it's level 3 especially. Made me think of Silent Hill 1, but like the Mirror Town where it's all ruined. Okay, so we start off in this room here, bedroom. Controls are simple enough. You got WASD, mouse to look around, spacebar is jump, and then E is use. Right click is interact with 3D objects in the world, so you can pick up lights and stuff, which does help. Left click is fire, and you finally find a weapon. Dad. Still creepy even now. Sound design's really cool in places, it must be said. Now, I still haven't quite worked out what this is all about. So far, even with what I've already played, it's very sparse on the plot and the clues. You press this button, I don't actually know what it does. I think it moves around the blocks outside the path, and that's worrying. It's weird. Like I say, I don't know exactly what that's doing. That appears to be somebody in there. And the weird blurry clock. Can't interact with that in any way. That's where I came in. I don't think I checked every door last time. Even now it's uneasy. Once I've played the game and it's still making me feel uneasy. Oh no, that's the way forward, I think. But it's locked. Must have missed a door somewhere. Let's go back then. If you fall down, you just respawn in the bedroom where you started, so it's not a big problem. Two doors. Looks like one of the sigils from the 3rd level. I forgot about this. It's a very uneasy game. Makes you feel uneasy. Even now playing this back, it still feels uneasy. I don't remember the 2nd level. I spent that long messing around with the 3rd. Oh, I do remember the 2nd level. Because here's where things start to go wrong. I never know if that's your character making those noises. Something up ahead. And I'll tell you now that it's an enemy and he stands up and starts to attack you and you've got no weapons at the start. So we have to run away into one of the doors. Crap, he got in here with me. I might shut him out. Oof. That was close. Ah dear, no more bullets. Nothing in there. Oof, yeah, you didn't want to run into that room. Well, weapons all well and good. What's behind Final door. Is that health in that one? Yeah. I'm not too concerned about health and what have you. Right, I don't remember where. So it's level 4. I might leave that save there actually, so I can carry on at some point. So I'm just gonna save this here, so I'm not erasing my progress. I can't remember what happens. I don't know what an AT 9mm is. I mean, obviously this is an AT 9mm, but I mean, I don't know what that is in relation to anything else. So it looks like, I do like that you can reload even though you've got a full clip magazine. Sorry. See what I mean about Silent Hill? The grates and what have you, and that general feel of unease. So what have I got? I've got 3 clips. Okay. I mean, the thing with the combat is it's not important is what I was going to say. I don't even know what they are. There's no explanation for anything at all. What I was going to say is you end up with more than enough ammunition, as long as you don't go shooting the walls and what have you, but generally you end up with enough rounds to be able to take care of yourself. But that doesn't mean it ain't tense, because this isn't the greatest weapon in the world. Now, one thing a trick I've learned about horror games is if you're going into a dark bit like that, reverse in. Because if something's in there, you're not going to see it anyway, and at least having the light source, you can kind of help yourself with navigation with it. It's better than nothing. And, and then immediately you can run forwards. Whereas if you just go into the dark, you just don't know where anything is. So reverse. And these baddies, they tend to leap out at you when you get close enough. Oh, that's always nice. Flickering lights. The enemies don't respawn, at least not on this level, they didn't anyway. A door. Something. Who's behind me? That one was different though. He walked. The others run at you. That one didn't. Remember that one last time. It's just as you're about to exit the level. Ideally, what you want to just do is run forward. But I didn't. And when you die, you just die and end up back at the start. Which is fine. See, this is something that frustrated me with the notes you'll find contain tips to solving puzzles, which is correct in this level. But the thing is that it could have done with like a note system in there, because what it wants you to do, what it isn't telling you that it wants you to do, is save in different slots so you can tell what the pattern is. So the whole point of this level, I'm just going to play it actually for a little bit. I'll save it here. And the whole point of this level, I love it. Don't remember it being so dark. Oh yeah. There's no enemies here for the most part. I don't think. Oh! Okay. I kept running across this door, and I was like, why can't I open it? It's because that's where I started. Okay, that makes sense. So the whole point of this level is you come across a door that needs a key. And you find the key anyway, but as you're going round you keep finding things like this. And these are important because what happens is you get dropped into a room and basically there's 4 sigils, rooms set out like a crucifix, and there's 4 sigils, and you have to pick the right sequence for the sigils. Now as you're wandering around the level, you come across books like this, and there's a riddle, and it tells you what order you need to go through the sigils in. But trying to find your way around the level, finding these books and then finding the key and then finding where you've got to go, it took me an hour and a half. So I'm just going to see how far I get. So loss is the first one, and that's the crucifix, which I remember. But you see what I mean? I'm having to make physical notes now. Some people like making physical notes and stuff, but me, I prefer my game to have a, you know, some kind of inventory system or something, or like a journal. But this doesn't seem to have one, so you have to make notes of everything yourself. I mean, the level is still creepy as all heck. And the music, I will say, for this level, once I started the level, like, the music really began to creep me out after a while, because it's that it's not, the music's made not by instruments by the sound of it, it's made by that sounds like somebody drumming, like hitting like a, I don't know, like a metal surface with something. Right, now here's where some of the baddies spawn, I think. You know, okay. Alright this time. And that noise is clearly somebody dragging like a crowbar or a shovel across tarmac, it's making that sound. So while the music is music, it's rhythmic, it's designed to set you on edge. Here's another book, and this is Despair. It's like the V-shaped one. What it is actually, it's weird. It's basically like a V shape. That's two. And I think there's 5 of them. But all the corridors all look pretty much the same. So it's really difficult to know where you've been and where you haven't. Now there is a point where enemies just spawn on top of you. His presence is killing me. Let's go right. There's health and items about, which is good. So lead me to the health. We're on full. Because what happens is if you cock the riddle up and you go through the wrong sigil, it teleports you. I think it might be here. Or it teleports you somewhere in front of a grill, and it spawns enemies with you as well. So that's the door that's locked. That's the door I'm looking for the key for. And then here, ammo. It says ammo, doesn't say what the ammo is for. But it's not for my pistol. So I feel like I've just gone in a massive circle there. So I took a right here, went along there. Maybe I should go this way instead then. Right, okay. Health. And that's the back of the sign. Ammunition, good out, all of that. And what you can do, as it says, you can react with things and shed a little light on the subject. Oh, this is the lost path. Now, I thought that was a really clever mechanic, being able to pick up lanterns. But like I said, I was wandering around for a good hour and a half until I eventually... Oh, that's Despair again. Oh, whoa. What just happened? Did my lamp just bash me on the head? I knew there was somewhere that spawned baddies. Let's get the old shooter out. Yeah, they're kind of weird, they just disappear. Yeah, teleports you back to this spot with a couple of those guys. So, down here then. Blue room in front. Ah, that's the prison cells. And there's another one. Anger, that's the one with the 3. Okay. It's got like a sigil in the middle kind of thing. I'm no artist. Goes all the way through. Something like that. But then the 3 big ones are the main ones. Okay. More mags. That's where it came from. Forward. So yeah. Did I just go forward? I'm just back now. Ah, this is what I wanted because that is what the ammo is for. Now, you can get on the opposite side of there. And I didn't realise it. And there's a another book in there, and I'd already sussed out what I was doing by the time I found it. I was like, oh, alright. I don't know if the level keeps changing or opening things up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, get the gun out. I have lost my light. Great. I can't remember where you find the key either. So we've got 3 out of the 4. That's 5, I think. Like I said, I don't know if the level keeps changing. It certainly seems to, and the next level even leaves you a note that suggests that the world's alive and it's trying to confuse you. Does this a couple of times. I don't know what it is that's hitting me. Well, if I can't see it, I can't do anything about it, can I? What is it? Where is it? I think it's a glitch. Right, I can't... What is it? Where is it? Ah. And here's the room where things... Ah, that's where you get the key from as well. That's handy. Oh look, I'm being killed by nothing again. There's probably an enemy somewhere that's hitting me, but I can't spot him. Oh, yep, there he is. Yeah, it's really strange, like if there's an enemy alive, then you'll take damage from, even though they can't see you or if you're miles away. It's like just because if the character even knows that they're alive, you just start taking damage, and it's kind of silly. I don't know if that's an intentional thing or there's a huge glitch. Right, that's where the door is, isn't it? Oh no, it's not. See, now I'm lost again. That's where I started. It does help having a lantern. So I'm slightly annoyed that that one glitched. But you see what I mean about how confusing it is and like how difficult it is to navigate. There's no map that I've seen anyway. And it's like I said, the music is actually quite cool. Well, say music. The thing that's creating the ambiance. But, like I say, you spend so much time trying to work out where you're supposed to go that it just becomes like dull and repetitive after a bit, because it is just a continuous loop and not a very long one either. That's the shotgun again, but it's like I remember coming down here and you can get round there because you see the chair the shotgun was on. There. And what this then does is it drops you down into the room below. So madness. So madness isn't in this thing at all. But it looks like. Okay, so it's kind of a. Like that. It's a bit like an iron cross. It's annoying though, it's through there. Oh, flipping heck. Oh, wow. Well, that's one way of doing it. And then there's Sin. that is like it's a H looking thing. So it's that, and then, but that's creepy as heck. But I got stuck in this bit earlier as well because I couldn't find my way out. I kept going around in circles. Oh, Jesus Christ. I wish I wouldn't do that. Alright, so there's a baddie about somewhere then. Jesus Christ. Doesn't tell you what the enemies are or anything. Can't interact with anything there. Yeah. I don't know if the light's to help you navigate or what's going on. It'd be handy if it was broken down into like areas. It just looks like a massive corridors. I'm just literally walking around blind. Because they all look the same. I also haven't addressed the elephant in the room, the fact that my hands and weapon are covered in blood. And I haven't addressed that because I don't know why they're covered in blood. Like I said, there's no context given. Or anything. So, it's all dead ends and weirdness. Oh, it's the worst. I don't know if the sigils. What's the start? I did come across a couple of times where the start, or this door was open again, but it wouldn't let me back through. Yeah, I'm somewhat annoyed by the fact I haven't got my lights anymore because the game's glitched on me. Wretched little thing. It's the steps up to despair. Ah, here we go. Now then. So what happens is you press the button and it drops us into this little cross. And so, first one, at the beginning there was a loss, so the loss is like the X-shaped one. That's not it. No. I think that's loss. Just going to check the other one. Yeah, that one's loss. And what happens is if you get the wrong one, as I say, it spawns you back and with a couple of enemies next to you. But this is actually quite cool the way the colours keep changing. First there was a loss. Despair replaced anger. Which one's despair? Despair's the V looking one. I can't get too close because I'll activate it, but I don't want to. I think that's despair. Yes. Anger. Which one's anger? It's like there. Is that the one with the 3? Yeah, it is. That's anger. I think. Spare place. Anger. And then in the moment. Oh. The name of revenge. committed a sin. That's loss. That's sin. No, that's madness. That's sin. Oh, I was going to show you what happens. But yeah, so the point is then you have to find your way back to the room again and get the right sequence. And that's why it says save using multiple slots, because it wants you to not have to go back through the level again. Which to me, that's poor game design as far as I'm concerned. So, but anyway, there it was. I'm going to leave it there. That is Dark Places. Conclusion to follow.
Gordon Bennett, I'm going to be hearing that music in my sleep for the next week. So, conclusion on Dark Places. It's a tough one, really. I mean, obviously it's an indie game, so we were never going to be looking at massive in-depth levels and enormous amounts of plot. And I must admit, I do kind of like the fact that the plot's ambiguous at the moment. You don't know what's going on, you don't know where you are. The bedroom scene at the start gives a vague idea of something that's happened, and we're exploring what would appear to be someone's psyche. There's plenty of atmosphere in it, and I'll say that. The enemies are pretty, they will make you jump, and they do look pretty strange, and it's all very much nightmare fuel. I do continue playing after this. Got a good chunk of the 4th level, and that one continues in a similar vein. But I mean, the problem I have with that 3rd level, as you heard me moaning about all the way through, is it just seems to be it's just so difficult to navigate. And like I said, I don't know if it's a deliberate thing. I don't know if it deliberately doesn't open up areas of the map, or if there's some kind of puzzle going on. But the game doesn't really tell you a lot, and that knocks me. It really does, because you don't know if you're doing something wrong, and if you're just walking around the same scary bit for ages on end, it just becomes tedious after a while, and you lose all sense of terror, and you just get bored. And that is really not what you want from a horror game. You don't want to be bored by a horror game. I mean, that music on level 3 all the way through, it does set you on edge because of the way that impact hits what would be a snare, I suppose, snare drum, and it just hits strange. It really does set you on edge. But like I say, the more you play it, it's like it wears off after a while. I feel like if you're going to make it a game where it's atmospheric and and dark and mysterious and scary that way, don't go throwing a labyrinth in there, because all it's going to do is ruin the pacing of the game, which it did a lot. And then the lack of like a journal system, so I can write stuff down. I used to do that back in the day with other games. I've got a book of passwords and hints and tips and what have you. But we're in like this game was made in like the 2000s or 2000. I think it was 2010, maybe even 20. By now there should be some kind of in-game notebook system to help you out, because having to remember the riddle and what each of the very obscure runes stand for makes me think, you've got to write stuff down, and it's like, really, in this day and age? So that was a little bit frustrating. I guess I'm expecting too much from from a more modern game. But on the plus point, it's got me intrigued, I'll be honest. I kind of want to know where it goes. I think there is a second part to it as well, so I'm curious to see what happens. So I probably will play it to its logical conclusion, unless I get stuck and bored again. But we'll see how we go on that one. Yeah, like I say, the sound and everything sounds really good. The music really, I say music, it's like the music and the ambience really add to the effect. It is quite a creepy game, and when you get to a new level, you naturally do start out quite hesitant, creeping your way forward because you have no idea what the game's going to throw at you. So that's cool, and it does make you, it does creep you out a little bit. But I did have it crash about 6 times, and I feel for a game as low spec as it is, it shouldn't be crashing this much. You know, you've got games where you've got like massive stat trees and what have you, and you know, RPGs and RTS games with like hundreds of little units walking around that are fine, but for some reason this corridor-based thing keeps crashing. Only really happened on level 3 though, so maybe there's just an issue with level 3. Who knows? But yeah, there are plus points. There are good bits of it. I'll credit where credit's due. There's some thought in there, and even if some of the design choices are possibly misguided, overall, if you can get it as a freebie or for next to nothing, I would say give it a crack if you like a horror game. Even if you only play through it once, I think it's worth a go. Just be prepared for moments of tedium. That's my only warning, really. So yeah, Dark Places. Yeah, I'll take that, and I'll endeavour to finish that one of the days. There's only a few achievements for it as well. As I say, each one is named after all of the runes. So I'm going to see if I can see if I can 100% it. But that's for another day. So next video, I'm hoping to get to you soon. Sooner the better. But until then, take care of yourselves and have a good one.